Hello and welcome to today's TOC podcast. I'm Joe Weichert, co-chair of O'Reilly's Tools of Change conference. Be sure to visit tocon.com for information on all upcoming TOC webcasts, podcasts, and other in-person events. Also, if you're not already doing so, you can subscribe to this podcast series through iTunes. Just search for O'Reilly Tools of Change. For today's podcast, I'm joined by Jesse Potash, founder of Pubslush Press. Jesse, welcome to this TOC podcast.
Thank you so much, Joe. Excited to be here.
So, Jesse, Pubslush has been described as kind of a quick starter for books, and it's, of course, playing off that popular Kickstarter Creative Projects funding platform. Is that a fair comparison, and can you describe Pubslush for us a little better?
Sure. It's funny that we actually got this publicity, and we're so honored because we absolutely love Kickstarter, but the only problem is Kickstarter already is Kickstarter for books. You can go on Kickstarter right now and put your book there, and it's fine. The difference is that Kickstarter is primarily a crowdfunding platform where authors receive all their funds that they raise and they can use them at their discretion. Whereas with Pubslush, we're primarily a publisher and a nonprofit, and we use crowdfunding more in the first stage of publishing to find new talent. So with Pubslush, the funding is just the beginning, and we understand the publishing world can be, very overwhelming, and we wanted to really remove that burden and let authors focus on writing. So we facilitate the complete publishing process, bringing the book through all stages of production and providing distribution and marketing services, among others. Also authors benefit from our resources as a full-service publisher. They can feel confident that, that if they're being published through us, that we're 100% committed to their success. So Pubslush, simply is a platform that links aspiring authors with their readers and literature with literacy. And what that means is just that we let users decide what books get published, and then for every book we sell, we give a book to a child in need. And how it works is that authors upload 10 pages and a summary of their manuscript. Users then go on and browse the submissions, and they share with their friends. And if they like it, then they support it, which is essentially like pre-ordering the book. If the book reaches 2,000 supporters, we publish it, and then for every book we sell, we give a book. Keeping in with the discovery theme, we encourage editors from other publishers to check out top submissions and extend deals to authors if it's right. So pretty much a win-win for authors. At the very least, they can increase their visibility, and it's free, so there's really nothing to lose.
Yeah, I love how you hit on so many different features there that are different from the self-publishing platforms I'm familiar with, like Lulu and Author House. Anything else you want to highlight there that kind of separates you from what they're doing?
Yeah, it's funny because when we were initially starting, we were kind of figuring out where we fit into the industry, and the reality is we are just so worlds away from self-publishing. With self-publishing, you write a book, you go online, and you pay to get your book printed, marketed, whatever you want. That's so great, and we love that. But there's no way to tell what's good from what's not, and there's no way to know if there's an audience. So at Pubslush, we don't charge authors a dime ever. We only allow users to support once, meaning there's a guaranteed audience of 2,000 people for every book we publish, which is really great for two reasons. One, readers can feel confident that it's high quality because 2,000 of your peers think it's good enough to be printed. And two, authors get a built-in audience before the book is ever even published. And then with self-publishing, you pay for services as you go. So with Pubslush, yes, we use the funding raised to offset the initial cost, but we incur every additional cost above and beyond. We have a vested interest in the author and their book and are financially committed to making it a real success.
Okay, I want to talk for a second about one of my favorite topics here, discoverability. And I feel like that was a challenge before self-publishing came around, and now self-publishing has only added so much to the volume of titles that are being produced every year. Is there anything that you, with Pubslush, can do to help that discoverability problem?
Absolutely. In all honesty, Pubslush is all about discovery. It's about giving a voice to aspiring authors. Because of the industry's rapid evolution, there is so much chaos, as you mentioned, and it's really difficult for authors to gain traction and to get noticed. So the entire concept was born from my obsession with J.K. Rowling, and when I found out she was rejected 12 times, I was speechless by this. This is literally a book that changed the world, the best-selling book ever besides the Bible. Made me wonder, how many other great books are out there that are being rejected or getting lost, and some quick research revealed that, she was not alone in this struggle. So basically, we decided to sort of bring the slush pile online and let real people who read books every single day decide what they want to read next. And Pubslush is very much a global community of writers and readers with a conscience. We like to think of ourselves as a way to aid the existing talent discovery process and help both authors and publishers. So by encouraging editors from other publishing houses to use the forum, we're simply in the business of helping writers get discovered. As books garner support, editors are free to peruse the site, and so maybe a book doesn't have 2,000 supporters to get published with us, but maybe it has 500, and maybe that's enough for an editor over at Random House or wherever.
And back on discoverability for one last question here. I was talking with some of the folks from Goodreads the other day, and they've got this new discoverability and recommendation engine, actually, that they're using to help you find new titles that you're interested in. Now, do you do any kind of recommendation based on anybody's sort of habits within Pubslush itself?
At this point, we don't, but right now, what you see on the site is a fraction of what's coming, and we absolutely have a recommendation engine coming, where you can go on and say these are the genres you're interested in learning more about, and then we will recommend based on your activity on the site, based on what you've previously supported or previously rated, and then recommend to you. We're also actually talking with Goodreads now and forming some sort of partnership because our missions are so well aligned.
Okay. Let's go back to the review process that you touched on a minute ago. How formal is that? And so is anybody able to review anybody else's work? And how does that work, basically?
Yeah, I love this question. On the site, we describe a user's role as to review, share, and fund. So share meaning spread the word, fund meaning pre-order. Review actually has a bit more comprehensive meaning or than just giving a critique. So yes, we do allow critiques in the form of a 5-star rating system and through comments, which is available to all users. But what we really mean is to review the entire book project. So, check out the summary, the overview, the video, the sample chapter, the author's profile page, all that stuff. So review really just means getting to know the book better.
Okay, then how about credibility, let's say, of reviewers? Is there any sort of a point system? Is that in the plans, just so you can figure out who's the most trusted reviewer versus somebody who might just be spamming the site, let's say?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is, like I mentioned earlier, in some of the features that we have planned for the next coming months. In regards to points for reviewers, we do have something similar being built in, which will identify top users, or top slushers, as we like to call them. And what that will be is it will be determined by the quality of the users' comments, their activity on the site, and their involvement in projects accepted for publication. And then users will sort of be ranked by that, so you can kind of know, who's really active on the site, who knows what's going to get published, that kind of thing.
Okay. And then you mentioned a little bit more about distribution earlier. I wanted to go back and touch on that as well. You're distributing on your own website and through other partners. So how extensive is that distribution list, both here and globally?
Sure. The short answer is we distribute mainly through Ingram's network, which obviously is the largest in the world and encompasses nearly every bookseller in the U.S. and abroad. But we're also in conversations with indie distributors to see if that route might be more beneficial to our authors. Our model for distribution is totally different than what's been done in the past, and we literally have a team of specialists evaluating trends so we can put our authors' books in the most effective places and adapt to the changing landscape. Basically, our goal isn't to get authors' books in as many places as possible, it's to get them in all the right places. Plus, authors benefit from our branding as the people's publisher. Most people don't often know the publisher of a book, so when you're ready to buy your next book, you don't think, oh, what's new from Penguin? Whereas we're kind of hoping to change that. Our books will be distinctly affiliated with our brand, so you very well may say, oh, what's new from Pubslush? We really want to create a sort of book club with a cause. Someone looking for their next book, log on to Pubslush and feel confident they're getting something deemed high quality by their fellow readers and that is socially conscious.
And when an author signs up with Pubslush, is it an exclusive deal, so they're only working through you, or can they go elsewhere as well with the content?
Yeah, authors absolutely are engaging in an exclusive distribution deal, and you should think of Pubslush in that sense as the same as publishing with any major publisher. You can't already have self-publish your book. Your book can't be available for sale anywhere. You can't ask us to handle just the print rights and you handle the digital rights. It's a package deal, and we cannot stress enough that authors are engaging in a legal contract by just submitting on the site. We're not trying to trick anyone. We really want to encourage everyone to please read our agreement thoroughly. We ask that for 4 months you don't shop your book elsewhere while it's on our site, and the reason is that we believe that's a fair gauge to get enough support. If within 4 months you get 2,000 supporters, then you get published. If not, your book is released and you can shop it wherever. Our rationale is that the relationship should be mutually beneficial. We want to work with authors who believe in us as much as we believe in them. And, since we're putting everything we've got behind them, So while the deal is exclusive, you better believe, we're going to work as hard as we can to make the book a success. And, we're not your run-of-the-mill publisher, and we really do care about our authors and think of them as part of our Pubslush family.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think that's another point of separation from some of the other self-publishers out there, a lot of which are non-exclusive. And you're right, I think from the way you describe it, you're putting a lot more of an investment in than, let's say, the typical self-published work is getting.
Absolutely.
So how about the social media side of things? What are you guys doing to leverage Twitter and Facebook, for example?
Our focus on social media is central to the platform, like the number one thing. We've made it so easy to share your book with your social network. Bring your entire virtual presence into one place and harness the full power of online marketing, because we all know it's quite powerful when used correctly. Honestly, we believe, though, the only way to succeed on Pubslush is to rally the initial following yourself, meaning, get your mom, your brother, the cousin who you haven't seen since you were 3 years old, get everyone you know, because no one's going to support your book, or your biggest supporters are going to be the people you know first. Also, we can't stress how important the video is. Literally make it 60 seconds long, sit in front of a photo booth, and just talk about your book. What it's called, what it's about, why you wrote it, who will like it, what it means to you. If you don't know how to do it, ask someone to help you. Google it. This is your book. You poured your heart and soul into it. If you can't take 10 minutes out of your life to make the video, it's not going to say a lot to your potential supporters. So we're giving you all the tools to market yourself, but in the end, it's up to you.
Okay. I got to say, my favorite feature of Pubslush is the fact that you're giving a copy of the book to a child in need for everyone you sell, right?
Yes.
So I know you touched on this a little bit earlier, but can you give a little more background to the program? What books are being donated, for example? The one that was just bought, or is there a different selection, or how exactly does that work?
Sure. So thank you so much for saying such nice things about that. We knew that incorporating a giving component was the only way we could commit all of ourselves to making this a success. And Pubslush ultimately is about giving. It's authors giving their manuscripts, it's readers giving their support, and it's us giving books to kids. Linking publishing with literacy seemed like such a natural synergy, but bizarrely enough, it's not such a huge part of the industry. And we thought implementing the one-for-one donation program would be a really incredible way to bridge that gap. So, which of course was inspired by Tom Shoes, who we love. And in regards to the books that we actually distribute, they're never going to really be the books that are, or I'm sorry, the books that we give, they're never going to be the books that we're actually publishing. Since our commitment is to children's literacy, we work with partners on the ground to understand the books that they actually need that will benefit them.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad to hear. I was kind of curious about that. It wasn't really clear from what I could tell. So, again, I think that's just a terrific part of the program. I really want to applaud you for that.
Thank you. It goes on to so many more things. The goal of the efforts is so intense. We're really trying to fight poverty with a sustainable solution. And, just to throw some numbers out quickly, because this is so near and dear to my heart. Today, close to 1 billion people, don't know how to read. And also today, over 100 billion kids don't have access to books. If those kids never get books, this cycle just goes on and on and on. And it's very overwhelming. And our program supports this cause in two ways. So yes, we donate a book, but we also have where we donate the value of the book. And we added that part to the commitment because we wanted to be able to aid literacy programs in the most significant way. And so by donating the value, we can impact education initiatives in a more significant way, I think. And we have 3 specific commitments. And those are 1, to donate educational resources, which include books, obviously. 2, to support libraries and community reading spaces, from the construction, the furniture, the books inside, the computers, the staffing, everything. And 3, to facilitate a local language publishing program, which will actually allow us to source and publish local content for educational or personal use from communities of our giving partners. And then another cool component of the program is for each book project we publish is linked with a specific giving partner. So when you purchase or support a specific title, you know exactly where it's going. It will be in the book. It will say, every sale of this book helps this orphanage or this school, so you can kind of feel connected.
That's outstanding. The last thing I wanted to ask you about, because I feel like what you've got is a really interesting model. Again, it's far enough removed from traditional publishing, and it's got a lot of similarities to other self-publishers, but you've hit a lot of the highlights here of what makes it different. So I happen to believe that traditional publishing and self-publishing are going to kind of come together more so than they have today. And we've already seen a couple of players like Thomas Nelson in Nashville is a great example. They've got their Westbow Press as a self-publishing imprint within Thomas Nelson. I feel like there's going to be a lot more of that in the future, and that we'll be kind of working together in this manner. So, have you ever thought about using Pubslush and offering it as kind of a skinnable platform to traditional publishers to do everything that you're talking about right now, but that would be kind of for their areas of expertise, for example?
To be truthful, we haven't considered offering the code to third parties, though. What you're saying is very interesting, and obviously the industry is changing so much. We definitely encourage other publishers to become involved in the platform. If they're interested in a book, it's very simple to contact us, and we'll make the authors aware of the options. If the deal is made, we actually give the publishers, or the publisher that's interested, the money the book has raised already. So in that case, we act as a sort of agent representing the author on all legal issues. But in regards to making it available to third parties, you never know. It's patent pending, and maybe someday we will offer it. If I've learned anything from this venture, it's never say never.
Yeah, absolutely. No. Well, again, hey, Jesse, I really appreciate you taking the time. Thanks so much. I love what you're doing with Pubslush Press. Want to hear how it evolves in the future here, and just thanks again for being part of this podcast.
Great. Thank you so much, Joe. It's been a real pleasure. I appreciate it.